Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
We are a nation in decline.
Experts are preparing for what is known as Disease X, or the next pandemic.
What we are seeing is a revolution against the system.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rise and Grind with VinceTagliavia, live with you every Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time to talk about the news and events of the world. Today's show is called Coincidental Live News Updates, as there's just some weird coincidences out there I want to talk about, as well as updates on the U.S. news, world news, etc., etc. So welcome one and all. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the likes, comments, all that stuff. We've got the live chats going. Good morning, Christy. Good morning, Paul. Good to see you. B.A. Paulson, rather. Thank you for joining. And good morning, Forrest. Top of the Super Tuesday morning. You right? Yeah, today is Super Tuesday, a big day. A lot of states voting. And we'll have an update on that later today once we have more information, that's for sure. But yes, happy Super Tuesday. Hello, Quiet Toad. And hello, Half the World is Night. You've got your coffee going, I hope. Good morning. And let's get into it. Oh, it's Boyd. Hi, Boyd. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. All right, y'all. Let's check this out. We got breaking news this morning that there were some outages detected. And this is an interesting story because we don't yet know why these outages are occurring. And just a week ago, I covered AT&T's major outage, which was coincidental with a bunch of other outages across the board with other phone network companies, etc. We saw that 11 days ago, and I made a couple of videos about that. What ended up happening there was AT&T came out and said that they had some kind of update that went awry, and that's why they had this huge spike in outages. The curiosity is that does not explain the outages at the same time reported at all these other companies. And I never heard a resolution to that. If anybody has information on something I'm missing here, please let me know. I'm happy to listen to what y'all have to say on this. But today we saw a similar instance of this type of outage happening. It's kind of odd, not particularly with AT&T, although they did see a little spike in outages this morning. But look at this. I brought up Down Detector right now, and this is where people go and they can report outages on various websites. We see all of these outages occurring at the same time, these huge spikes, which means people are reporting that they're having issues with these particular company websites or apps. So right off the top, we have Facebook, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, YouTube, Discord, Google, X.com, Verizon, T-Mobile, all of these having an increase in outages all at the same time this morning. On top of that, AT&T, I noticed, was a bit odd here on the left-hand side of the screen. They had a spike earlier. I don't know if this is the middle of the night or yesterday. The middle of the night for me here anyway. But they had a spike long before any other companies had a spike. And then at the same time, everyone else was having issues. They had a lower reported amount of issues. So it's just a little bit strange of the things that I noticed here. We also had Google Play, Gmail, Threads, Oculus, WhatsApp, TikTok, Pokemon Go, Snapchat, Microsoft Teams, Reddit, Amazon, PNC, all of them, Zoom, Cricket Wireless, all of them having outages at the same time. And more. The list goes on here, as you can see. Just something odd. Facebook did come out this morning and they said that they're looking into the global Facebook and Instagram outages. It's a developing story. We don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see what they say. I'm curious. I mean, a lot of people are speculating that it's these types of things are cyber attacks maybe, and that's one way that would explain it. But no company's come out and said that they've been targeted from any type of cyber attacks that I'm aware of. So it's kind of just we're waiting for more information on it, and we're just sitting back and watching. And hopefully, it looks like my stream's doing okay. Luckily, it looks like the outages are on the decline and things are starting to get better now, but they spiked about an hour ago. Hello, Christy. It's out of sync? That's weird. Let me check that. My audio? How's my audio on YouTube, guys? Is it okay? Let me look. It seems okay with me. It seems fine with me. Thank you. Terry, thank you. Terry says, I keep watching and liking your videos because you do a good job of giving good content. Thank you so much, Terry. That's very kind words. I appreciate that. Yeah. Boyd says he was having problems with Facebook and Messenger today. Looking great. Thank you so much. Thank you all. All right. Well, so that's just a developing story there. We're going to leave it there and let it marinate for the day. And when we get more info, I'll post it. So follow me on X, and I post little updates too. I've been trying to post more over on YouTube community page, and I'm over there on TikTok now. So you could find me on TikTok as well. Just you could just look for my my logo, search my name right here, VinceTagliavia. Look for the V logo, and you'll find me there on TikTok. It's it's TikTok. It's whatever. It's cool. All right. Thank you, Sheriff Hector. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the feedback. All right, let's get into what else is going on. Hey, Cordova, good to see you. All right, let's talk about finance a little bit today. Kick things off a little further down the road. The markets are red across the board, except when it comes to gold and except when it comes to Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin's in the red now, but it did hit record highs recently. So markets aren't doing well. Gold, though, is sitting at $2,134. It was above $2,140. And now it's a little bit declined, but still on the up. Also breaking records. Pretty wild stuff. And one curiosity, though, with like the markets declining, you had the Walton family selling massive amounts of shares for their stock in Walmart, and you saw other huge divestments occurring in the market last week. Where's that money going? I'm kind of wondering that. That's my question. What are they holding the cash? Not just the Waltons. Anybody making these billion-dollar divestments, what's the move there? Obviously, they're trying to create a little bit of liquid cash for something. Are they holding on to the dollars? Are they investing in metals? Are they investing in other companies? Are they investing in Bitcoin? That's a question. And who knows, right? Who knows? Something tells me that certainly, I mean, it's without a doubt, a lot of money is flowing into Bitcoin. And that's an interesting one. My friend Chris Large has a channel. You could follow him, Chris Large, on YouTube. And he was pointing out, like, we don't even know. Well, we don't. I don't even know. We don't even know. You and I don't know. We can speculate, but we don't know who created Bitcoin, who owns a large stake of Bitcoin. And isn't it odd that it's being just welcomed with open arms to the trading floor, and ETFs are being created, and it's, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to be $100,000 before you know it. You better jump on the bandwagon. It's like, isn't that odd? Chris Large put a video out the other day, a couple 2-3 shows ago, and talked about this situation and went into great detail, and I appreciated that because it kind of opened my eyes to some of this stuff. Just something to think about. That's all. Onward here. Yeah, we had gold prices hitting their record peak, 2,141. Man, it's gonna get rough, folks. Let's try to be creative with how we position ourselves in these times. Apparently, there was this article where California Democratic Assembly members are trying to get this new bill through that states that an individual's immigration status can't disqualify an applicant from the program. And so you'll have illegal immigrants eligible for the first time for first-time home buyer loans. So whatever the benefits are for first-time home buyer, what are the first-time home buyer own home buyer benefits? What are the first-time home buyer benefits offered by the U.S.? I'm not even sure. I'm going to look this up real quick. But this is an interesting little thing they're trying to do in California. And they say, you know, in a lot of places, there's a housing crisis. There's not enough houses, but it's like, this is just crazy to me. This is just odd, man. I don't know the details on that. I'll have to dig into it a little bit, but it makes it easier to get these loans, and you get some benefits if you qualify. So just something there lingering with the home market in California. We've got a report on a trade by Nancy Pelosi lately. She just bought 1.25 million of PANW, and PANW is a Palo Alto Networks, and it's a leading cybersecurity company. So she bought $1.25 million worth of calls with a strike price of $200, which means she's anticipating on this cybersecurity company on doing exceptionally well if she's anticipating on making money, which her record is pretty good. So I'm pretty sure that's the whole idea of these options trades. So that's an interesting one. They expire on January 17th, 2025. So it's a little bit of a long-term investment there by Nancy, and that was posted by Nancy Pelosi Stock Tracker. People track this stuff very closely, and it's all public information. So they're asking, does she know things we don't? Probably, man. A lot of people accuse her of insider trading, considering her positions, right? My goodness. Walmart stock back up over $60. Boyd says, ooh, interesting. Awesome. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate it. You like my sweatshirt. Thank you. One of my favorites. I had to have it custom made. You can't buy these at Walmart. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. All right, onward here. Let's see what else we got. The U.S. now has an 85% chance of recession in 2024. This is reported by @unusualwhales on x.com. They say this is the highest probability since the Great Financial Crisis. Economist David Rosenberg has said. So what is the Great Financial Crisis? Let's look. When was that? Does anybody know the year? If you know this year, then you're exceptional with your knowledge of history, and you get points for the live show. There's no value to these points except bragging rights. Yeah. Hey, Lisa. Good morning. Lisa asks, did everyone vote? I hope so. Many states are voting today, so make sure you check. And if you need to, go vote. That's for sure. All right. Let's see. The Great Financial Crisis. 2007 to 2008 financial crisis is the Great Financial Crisis, they call it. I've heard people say we're on track to have a much worse time than then. And I've even heard people say, considering inflation and whatnot, that we're actually in a worse position than like the Great Depression. I've even heard people say that, which I don't know. I'm not an economist or anything like this or an expert. I just follow the little crumbs that I could find and try to make the best sense of it that I can along with y'all. So any input is appreciated, but I think that's I think that's something that is safe to say that we're on track to something similar or worse than the 2008 financial crisis, which I didn't know we're calling it the Great Financial Crisis, but okay. The Great Financial Crisis. Anyway, I have a series on YouTube and everywhere else. I posted it on X. I posted it on Rumble just so we could cover all the bases. And it's about a nation in decline. It's a series I'm doing. And I looked at San Francisco and I looked at Portland and just released these little videos about this situation that a lot of states are facing. And I mentioned it's not just the United States that have cities and states in a state of decline. And a state of decline, I'm talking about rising crime. I'm talking about statistics of the populations leaving the big cities. I'm talking about the vacant office space, particularly in places like Portland or San Francisco. The homelessness, the drug uses, the crisis. There was a crisis declared in San Francisco in January by the governor. It's rough. A lot of businesses shutting down, brick and mortar stores closing. It's not just a United States of America problem, though. We could look into Canadian cities as well, facing similar issues. We could even look to Europe, and in this case here, Great Britain. Let's take a look at this.
Welcome to Britain. Just shops closed everywhere. Because people can't afford to open them. They can't afford the rates, the VAT. So it's not a viable business to open them. So people sit on the dole, shops stay closed, and the ones that do get open are plagued with shoplifters,
Wow.
criminals.
This whole center is just empty, ghost town.
This is sad Britain. All of them shut.
And I will say, I don't know. I don't have a date on when this was published, but this was just posted by Wall Street Silver this yesterday last night. So about 13 hours ago, 13 hours ago. I don't have a date on when this was. This could have been just maybe this was during the pandemic. I don't know, but maybe it's today. I'd be curious if there's any folks that live in the city there or visit. Any feedback or information would be appreciated. Or if you're close to the area and you know people in the area, let me know what's going on in the cities and towns near you. I'd love to hear it. I might even do a little road trip and go to smaller towns in my area and document them, because it's not just big cities. I think that a lot of smaller cities and towns are facing the consequences of this as well, and it might be good to document and cover. So I'm thinking I'm going to do that here eventually. I've got other projects in the works though right now. My next main goal is I'm going to do a video on the history of kefir, because health is something very important to me. And I think that a lot of people are in the same boat there. And I want to teach y'all about kefir, a wonderful probiotic. Some studies show that it's got 10 times the amount of probiotics when compared to like Greek yogurt. And it was covered in a documentary too about the longevity of people living in the Caucasus region of Russia. These poor people living in the mountains, they live extraordinarily long. And there's also that documentary on Netflix talking about longevity and health and diets, and it's a very complicated thing that I am by no means an expert on, but I certainly am interested in the topic. But one thing I'm noticing is there's not just one thing that allows people to live long, happy lives. I think that it's a multitude of things. And anybody saying like this one thing will make you live forever is probably nonsense. I think that it's a lot of things. And I think that there's a lot of different diets that you can have. I think there's a lot of different areas you can live in, and a lot of different lifestyles you could choose to follow and still live very long lives. But just a fun topic. We're going to be releasing that soon. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe and all that, and be notified when that does drop here soon. All right. Let's see what else we got going on in the world. This was a pretty wild story, man. Joe Biden made an admission that he has secretly flown 320,000 illegal immigrants from Latin America airports to 43 U.S. cities. And Colin Rugg reported on this on X. He said it gets even worse. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection is refusing to identify which airports they are being shipped to. Todd Bensman, a journalist, said, quote, "The program at the center of the FOIA litigation is perhaps the most enigmatic and least known of the Biden administration's uses of the CBP, one cell phone scheduling app, even though it is responsible for almost invisibly importing by air 320,000 aliens with no legal right to enter the United States since it got underway in late 2022. Right here, it says, continues here, quote, "Under these legally dubious parole programs, aliens who cannot legally enter the country use the CBP One app to apply for travel authorization and temporary humanitarian release from those airports. The parole program allows for 2-year periods of legal status during which adults are eligible for work authorizations." Wow. Of course, this story is breaking as last week Biden went down to the border at the same day that Donald Trump went down to the border. Did you guys see the video of Trump standing at the border fence and he's just waving across to Mexico? That Trump just cracks me up, man. I could not believe that. It was just so funny. Hey, Forrest, thank you for the donation over on DLive. I appreciate it. Wow. And Elon Musk had some things to say about this. Elon Musk has his position. This is just his opinion. Everyone has them, right? Elon Musk said that, quote, "They are importing voters. This is why groups on the far left fight so hard to stop voter ID requirements under the absurd guise of protecting the right to vote." Just coming out and really laying down his controversial opinion there, which I think I've seen a lot of people sharing this type of same sentiment and concern. Whether it's true or not, I think that there is reason to be concerned about various things. So I don't think that, things should just be disregarded as nonsense conspiracy theories. If there is actually a potential for risk, I think that it should be all dealt with very seriously and looked at. Debbie says that MonkeyWorks has been showing all the flights every day for the last few years. Yeah, MonkeyWorks does that. He does a good job of tracking all those flights. Definitely, I don't follow MonkeyWorks very closely, but if he comes up with anything, definitely share it with us. And happy to take a gander. I've seen his show before, for sure. Yeah, he's really good at understanding air traffic and whatnot. Thank you, Boyd, for hopping back around, back and forth. All right. Terry Brinson says that Biden banned TikTok from government phones, but now has TikTok channel. Yeah, the TikTok thing's weird. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's very odd. Thank you so much for the generous donation, Boyd. I appreciate that on DLive. It's very kind. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't know what to say about TikTok and the allegations that it's a risk because of the Chinese involvement. But then, yeah, like Terry said, they created an account now. And I just got onto TikTok again after a long hiatus. Be honest with you, I don't love it. I don't love it. But now that I'm back on it, I'm trying to get just my content out there. I'm trying to have fun with it. But you go searching through all the content on there, and it's very interesting to see, what trends. And I've been doing research on there, and it's very interesting. If y'all haven't noticed, I'd be curious to know your thoughts in the comments on TikTok, but I've noticed some interesting things, that's for sure. All right, onward. Yeah, and so Elon Musk, everyone's very upset with Elon Musk. I mean, not me, I don't care what he does, but a lot of the people on the left are just, they can't stand Elon. I mean, we know he bought Twitter, and that was a huge thing, and more. And it seems like he's really under attack, for lack of a better term. It's interesting. I look at the performance of Tesla and I'm like, that's just wild. Maybe there's some kind of manipulation there or whatnot. I have no idea. This is just my wild mind speculating. But we saw a literal attack happen on a Tesla factory. And this is a cool new account on X. If you're not following them, this is the same creator of Roz Alerts has created a new account called Roz Global, at Roz Global, and they reported on this story from Grünheide, Germany. Arson attacks at Tesla factory leads to evacuation and power outages in surrounding areas. Wow. Roz Global covers this saying, quote, currently, Tesla's Grünheide plant in Grünheide, Germany, has led to evacuations and halted production due to a loss of electricity following a suspected arson attack on an electricity substation early on Tuesday, which also caused power outages in parts of Berlin. The situation escalated with bomb disposal units being deployed near the site. Authorities have been alerted to a fire in an electricity circuit close to the Tesla factory, impacting power supply, particularly in the Freienbrink area southeast of Berlin. Police currently assume that the fire was started intentionally, and a report of arson has been filed. The incident comes amidst tension between environmental activism and industrial growth, with Tesla's Grünheide site under scrutiny for its environmental impact. Really? I mean, this is the odd thing about it is Elon Musk, he's kind of on the board with Elon Musk. Can I call Elon Musk an environmentalist? To me, Elon Musk is an environmentalist. He talks about we need, better energy. We need electricity. Batteries is a good way. Solar power, right? Solar roofs, all this kind of thing. So the fact that environmental activists are going after him, to me, is very odd. It just doesn't fit, right? Something's not connected here. I don't get it. And this is just me saying this, not going into all of the thoughts on the whole climate change issue as a whole. I'm just saying, isn't that odd? Wow. So yeah, definitely follow Roz Global if you're like me and you're on X and you want the news as soon as you open your phone. You want like what's happening now. I want to be up to date. That's why we're all here. We like to know what's going on, be current. I don't know about you guys, but when I talk to people, they're like, give me an update. What's going on? What do you know about this? What do you know about that? So, and I just like to know. That's why I know because I'll start going on. I'll start talking as you know. All right. Yeah, this is interesting. I'm just checking the comments here. Hey, Black Jester, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you. And I see y'all over there on Pilled. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for hitting the red pill button or whatever. Appreciate that. A lot of support over there on Pilled. By the way, this weekend, maybe sooner, but by this weekend, I'm going to do a special live stream on Just Pilled, which is pilled.net. There's a link in the description if you want to create an account over there. There's other creators there and stuff, but it's just one place that I like. It's kind of like a free speech platform. And I'm going to do a video. It's going to be kind of a casual hangout where we're going to look at all the memes and all the funny stuff that I've compiled over the past few weeks. And we'll hang out for an hour or two and hopefully just have a good laugh and joke in the chat. And that live stream will be coming soon. So by this weekend, I'll be doing that. So stay tuned on Pilled. Make sure you follow me, and I'll post it on X too before I go live, so y'all are informed. But that's just a Pilled exclusive. So I'm looking forward to that. Got to keep it light sometimes. There's a lot of negativity out there. Anyway, hey Mike, thanks for jumping in there. Mike says cool. Thanks so much, Mike. Appreciate it. And by the way, thank you, Mike, and thank you, Christy. You guys are a couple of the people who've decided to sign up for the YouTube, my YouTube channel's membership program. You've joined. You've gotten those perks for being VIPs, and I appreciate that so much. I mean, I can't express that enough. It's starting at $2.99. But and there's a VIP plus package you guys could get too, which allows you to tell me, Vince, I would like you to create a video about XYZ, whatever that is, and I will make a video for you. So that is, if you want to become a VIP or VIP plus on YouTube, you could get that stuff. So yeah, Mike says I'm the original cherry popper. Yeah, Mike was the first person to get a subscription and made fun of me when I was so extremely excited. He's like, dude, it's $3. Like, chill. I'm like, it's not that. It's not the money, Mike. It's not the money. I was just so excited. So thank you. Yeah, Mike, the number one. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Terry says that I'm 100% solar power off grid and I never pay an electric bill, any electric bills. It's not about collecting electric. It's about storing it. Interesting. Well, Terry, I'd love to hear more on that. If you care to share, you could contact me. My email's in YouTube and whatnot. That's very interesting. I love it. I don't have much of an electrical infrastructure as far as solar goes. That's definitely something I'd love to do. All right. Let's move on here. Of course, today's Super Tuesday. We had one person already leave the stream. They're like, priorities, I gotta go vote. I'm out of here, which is totally great. Voters in 15 states and 1 U.S. territory will cast their ballots today in the Super Tuesday primary race. Democrats, Republicans, everybody alike, they're going to the polls. Trump is expecting and hoping for a turnout and a result that will symbolize a freight train of support for him. And that's what he went on Pilled yesterday and said. So we'll have updates on that later, y'all, but make sure you are aware of what's going on in your local elections. That's for sure. Whether you're voting this way or that, it's all important, folks. It's all important stuff. Wow. This is going to be quite the year. And it's going to be interesting. We're going to have more on this, definitely. Most definitely. So stay tuned and subscribe and all that. All right, we got a quick little Fani Willis update. Fani Willis is it appears she's in trouble. More attorney testimony has been offered in support of the Fani Willis disqualification case, where a lot of people say it looks like you guys might have perjured yourselves here, Fani and what's his name? What's the other guy's name? I forget his name. Gosh, I'm sorry, guys. Brain fart. I'm sure you guys know Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. Yeah, Nathan Wade. There we go. So apparently another witness has stepped forward. In a recent court filing, Dave Schaefer, Trump RICO co-defendant, claims that Cobb County, Georgia prosecutor Cindy Lee Yeager overheard Fani Willis instructing her lover's attorney, Terrence Bradley, to keep quiet about her affair. And this testimony will go towards showing there was a little bit of perjury, lying, dishonesty, and this case is still developing, so we'll have more on that later, but that probably is going to fall apart, and maybe Fani could even see a disbarment or charges filed against her. Who knows? But that is not something you want to be caught doing, or something you should do, not just get caught, but something you should do is lie, let alone under oath in a court, if that's indeed what happened. It's still up in the air, right? It hasn't been officially proven without a doubt by a court or anything, but it's just speculation. Terry, Trump 2024 MAGA baby. And RM's here. Have a great week, grinders. Thank you, RM. Good to see you. All right, onward. What else? AOC got confronted and chased away from a movie theater yesterday, and she's mad. Andy No reported on this, says here that leftist protesters who want AOC to more strongly condemn Israel chased her out of the movie theater. Andy No, he's a journalist in the Pacific Northwest. He points out here that Ocasio-Cortez had previously advocated for protest tactics that make targets uncomfortable. Ironically enough, or I guess is this another coincidence, or I guess this is more of an irony, is that she's being made uncomfortable by some protesters. And I don't support this kind of thing. I mean, I support peaceful protests and stuff, and I think that this is definitely symbolic of the issues that we face in our country. And but obviously, I don't know what to say. But here she is, very upset, being chased away. having some strong words with this protester. And I'm not sharing audio, I know this, but we're just the visual here real quick. Interesting story. Freedom News TV had a video. They obtained the video and released it here. And they go on and record her going down the street. Terry. That's funny. All right. So that's unfortunate, isn't it? We have an update on the wildfires in Texas. This is a big story, and I'm not hearing a ton of people talk about it. So definitely let people know this is happening, because of the damage that's been caused by these fires can actually be impactful on everybody. Cattle feed and feedlots burned, no water the ranchers used for their cattle, no grass. The prairie land has been burned. The cattle graze on this grass. 120 miles of power lines are down, and there's no grid. Wall Street Apes wrote a nice little thread on it and shared this video from who is this? This is I'm not sure. Hopefully he introduces himself. I don't recall, but let's just watch this video and hear what this man has to say here.
Breaking news out of Texas. We just received an update from our Texas Agricultural Commissioner, Sid Miller, and I'm going to play that video right after this. But a few things that I just took away that are very, very, very important for folks to understand across the country. Now, this fire in Texas is now the largest in Texas state history, and we knew that about 3 days ago when that hit over 1 million acres. They're now at 1.5 million acres. They have 120 miles of power lines down.
So he's going to go over the same things I just explained to you, that the power lines are down. There's no grass. There's no water. The cattle and feedlots are burned. And that's not the only thing, though. I wanted to play this video of Greg Abbott talking about this, because he goes and says something very interesting. And it reminds me of Hawaii, the Hawaii fires. You guys recall that? I mean, this is just really something, and I guess one of them pesky coincidences.
I have witnessed and observed some extraordinary damage in our state. It could be caused by hurricanes or tornadoes, and frequently when you see the aftermath of that damage, there's some semblance of a structure that is still there. Mm-hmm. When you look at the damages that have occurred here, it's just gone. Completely gone. Nothing left but ashes on the ground.
So, yeah, Greg Abbott mentioning there that, usually there's some structure left or something, right? But no, this is just completely just ash on the ground. And that's what we saw in various fires, not just the latest one that we had in Hawaii, but we also saw that in California a few years ago. Remember that? Wow. So that's just odd. I mean, this is kind of a new phenomenon where things just completely turn into ash. It's largely attributed to climate change. That's what they say. They're like, oh, it's climate change. And then, I guess like irony and coincidences live really close to each other, because isn't it weird just that relation between, we have the climate activists saying we need to eat less meat, et cetera, et cetera. I have a clip here from the World Economic Forum's Davos Summit, where Naomi Ariskas talks about this. But we have that situation going on at the same time. Just coincidentally, our infrastructure that they're so against is being just coincidentally accidentally burned in these accidents. It's just, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, if you wrote it in a book, they'd be like,
to come back to what
you'd read it and be like, that's a little bit too on the nose.
To come back to what Carlos said about agriculture. And this is, I think, really important to understand. And it's a little depressing, but I think if we don't understand it, we can't fix it. So in the case of agriculture, so we know, as you said, agriculture, particularly animal agriculture, is a major source of greenhouse gas emissions, a major driver of climate change. So one thing people can do to help, in this case, is to eat less meat. So what are we seeing happening in the United States? The agriculture industry is spreading disinformation. But here's where it gets particularly tricky. Not about climate change. They're spreading disinformation about the public health benefits of a plant-forward diet. So one of the great things about eating less red meat, and you don't have to eliminate it altogether, but just eating less, good for the planet and it's good for your body. So this is a win-win solution, and it's something that we all could do. We all have the power. We all have agency over what we eat. But there are researchers in the United States who work on the health benefits of a plant-based diet who have been attacked by the same people who attack climate scientists. So this isn't about public understanding science or not being transparent. This is about an organized attempt to confuse people.
Oh, thank you, Wide Awake Media, for posting that clip there from the World Economic Forum's Davos Summit. It's about confusing people, she says. You know, this is a very controversial topic. A lot of people say all plant-based diets are the best. All meat plant diets are the best. A combination of both is the best. Don't you know how our teeth are made? There's arguments from every side in the middle, right? I'm not going to pretend like I know all the answers. My opinion, personally, though, is that you can be healthy on an all plant-based diet if you get all of the other nutrients that you need that come from things like meat. There are ways to get nutrients, but I think that maybe some of them may be lacking without supplementation, as far as my understanding goes. However, people are vegetarians and live very healthy lives and have just fine amounts of health in their lives. On the other hand, you've got the people eating only meat that apparently seem to be okay too with their carnivore diets. I know people on the carnivore diet. And then I know the people in the middle seem to be just fine too. The issue seems to arise, and I've seen the CDC say things about it, or not the CDC, but I think actually the CDC too, but definitely the FDA saying, you know, processed foods aren't the best for you. And that seems to be across the board. Everyone can agree they're not that good. You shouldn't eat processed food for every meal. That's not going to be good. Anyway, onward. We have this situation in Texas, though, and I want to just highlight it once more before I move on. The impact this might have on the meat industry in the U.S. could be huge. We're waiting for the final numbers on how this is going to affect everything. But I mean, we might see this have a large impact. I mean, to the point where you might not be able to buy the meat that you're used to seeing in your stores every week. Hope not, but to me, this seems like a possibility. What do you think? So with that said, what's the solution? What are people going to eat? You know, crackers? I mean, what's the solution here? Because I know me, I eat a lot of meat. I don't eat like I'm not a meat, what do they call them? A carnivore diet person, but you know, I need protein, or otherwise I'm not going to be full. I need to eat protein, a lot of it. So I eat a lot of beef. I eat a lot of chicken and eggs. Eggs is like number one. Eggs is magic. Eggs is the most magic food there is, in my opinion. Without this stuff, I couldn't, I don't think I'd be as satiated and healthy as I am. So it's a concern to me. I know a lot of people are raising rabbits, a lot of people meat rabbits, a lot of people are raising chickens, they're getting their own eggs. That's a wonderful thing that I am seriously considering doing this year. And it's already March, so it's coming to that point where I need to get moving on that. It's a friend of mine produces meat rabbits, and they produce their meat for they did the calculation. It's like $1, a little over $1 per pound that they end up spending when they raise their own meat. So you can't survive just on rabbits, by the way, because it's such a lean meat. You need to have some kind of fat as well in your diet. But it is a great source of protein nonetheless. Anyway, onward. Breaking news out of the U.S. The Undersecretary Victoria Nuland resigns. Yes, Victoria Nuland. A lot of people call her a warmonger. She has resigned. Disclosed TV reported that early this morning. And there she is. Just, I mean, people say I made a smug face sometimes, but man, that's something. All right. Onward. What else do we have here? Michelle Obama was in the news. Her office has officially announced that she will not be running for president in 2024. I heard rumors of this last week, but now I suppose it's official. Don't worry, Michelle Obama's not going to try to step in, and they're going to do something else. We'll see what happens. But apparently it looks like they're sticking to their number one choice, Joe Biden. So you got it, Joe, right? Well, we will just keep our eye on all that stuff. Super Tuesday. Let's see here. This was an interesting one about weather. Before we talk about weather, let's talk about let's just talk about some world news real quick. Just in general, I just want to say this. We've had the United States Central Command and the Royal Jordanian Armed Forces providing airdrops for Gaza in an attempt to provide humanitarian aid and food for the people there they say are starving, which I don't doubt is the case. They are probably in a very bad shape. So that's occurring. And also you have Blinken coming out and asking Hamas to accept an immediate ceasefire with Israel. You also have other people in Biden's administration coming out and calling for a ceasefire, and it doesn't seem like Israel wants that. Hamas and Israel don't appear to be stopping, and that's the situation there, unfortunately. I know some people want to see one thing, some people want to see another way. Personally, despite everything, I just want to see peace. All right, I just want to see people not suffering and this kind of thing. That's my main thing. Not only do I want nice communities for us here, I think that everybody should have that all around the world, especially, regardless of things they have no control over, like where you're born and what the leaders of your country are doing, right? Or elected officials or whatever you want to call them, right? So, or selected officials, depending on what you believe. It's just so unfortunate. All right, so we're just going to leave that there with the world news stuff. If anything breaks, I will go live, so make sure you subscribe or hit the bell. Turn on the bells wherever you are. But I wanted to talk about this weather situation. My sister pointed this out to me, and I wanted to talk about it. First, I wanted to start here, though. Do you guys remember the Olympics, Beijing? Few years ago, I guess it was 2008. Gosh, time flies. That's not a few years ago. That's a long time ago. NBC News posted an article in 2008 in February, and they said that Beijing aims to control weather at the Olympics. Okay. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is an actual NBC News article. And it says that as they prepare to host the Olympics, an event whose very purpose is to push the limits of human beings, the Chinese are trying to do what no man ever has. The Chinese are trying to do what man never has, control the weather. And they wanted favorable weather for their hosting of the Olympics. And that's exactly what they said they did. That's what they say. So interestingly enough, I mean, even after this, and it's common knowledge, and that's fine. And they know how to modify the weather. It's public knowledge. I don't know why this is controversial. But some people say this is just mad conspiracy theories, but we've got this coming out of SoCal now, January 20th, 2024, by Eyewitness News, ABC 7. This is California. SoCal water officials test cloud seeding in an effort to increase region's water supply. The 4-year pilot program launched in November with an aim to increase precipitation by 5% to 15%. So there you go. They want to increase the amount of water. I read a little bit about this. They said that they want to send planes into the very high upper atmosphere and releasing particles to help reduce greenhouse gases and increase rain, which, I mean, California just got a lot of rain and they want to increase that 3 times. Maybe that amount, remember that atmospheric river? Maybe that was a result from this type of testing. I don't know. But California, I mean, they face floods, they face landslides, mudslides, all kinds of stuff from these big storms. I don't know why you'd want to have more storms when there's no preparation for where's this water going to go? What are we going to do with it? I've talked to a lot of Californians, and they say that a lot of this stuff just goes down the LA River into the ocean, or it just goes back into the ocean. They're not filling up their aquifers and things. I've heard. I don't know. RM says, watch your egg yolks. They need to be naturally dark, vibrant yolks and not watery. Yes. Eggs are magical. Eat meat, Terry Brinson says. It's literally good for you. I've heard I have a hard body and I eat meat. Plants and meat are good for humans. I agree. And it's something I really try to force myself to do a lot is eat meat and eat vegetables. A lot of vegetables too. As much as I love meat, I love vegetables, and they're so important because you get all those natural vitamins and whatnot that your body needs, as well as good salt, man. I've been learning about salt, and I don't eat table salt no more. I tell you that right now. I'm all good quality salts all the way. Get those electrolytes, stay hydrated, and it's very important to talk to the professionals about health, the people in your life that really know what they're talking about, the nutritionists and doctors and all this kind of thing, that have their heads screwed on right. They'll help tremendously. And it's a huge, very important thing. I hope everybody has to stay, I have a hard time. I have to really push myself, and I have to talk to people that are like-minded. Otherwise I'll go off and then I'll turn into an obese person real quick. But yes, eating healthy, staying active, even if that's just a simple little walk or just stupid little movements, make sure you're moving around a little bit, get that blood pumping. It's so good for you. I can't stress that enough. So thank you, Boyd. Thank you, Black Jester. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We're going to end it around here. If you'd like to support me, you can join on YouTube. You can just subscribe and watch. That is one of the best ways to do it as well. Thank you to everybody who has supported me and who does watch. Leave comments on any updates or anything I didn't cover or anything you want to hear about or feedback. I appreciate it all. I will see it. So please take the time to do so. I appreciate it. Army Mom, stop messing with me. Time. Sorry, Army Mom. I'm going to try to do 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time for these live streams. If I'm not able to do that, I'm going to just bump it up later into the evening. If you need to, you could always tune in later in the day. It's totally fine. And I apologize for the little bit of sporadic live streams here lately, but that's the plan, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. And also there will be things outside of that time period. So there will be more than just the Monday through Friday show. I'll have other videos coming out, etc., etc. And that'll be on x.com. It'll be on TikTok. It'll be on YouTube, etc. So thank you all for tuning in. With that, let's move on with our days. I've got a lot to do. You got a lot to do. Let's get to it. Take care. God bless and Godspeed.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
'24 may be the year of a black swan event.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.